Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're specifically going to talk about um, travel and the duty and responsibilities of a dungeon master. Let's talk about this. All right. So, hi, my name is Scott Garibay. I have never been out of the United States of America. It's one of my greatest shames as a Garibay. I am ashamed of it. I have a big family. I have 4 kids and a beautiful wife, and whenever I think about international travel, first of all, I would go to Japan. That's the first place I would go. That's like $10,000-$20,000 if you would go with ball out the way a Garibay would. Right? That's a car, right? That's a car, right? And I got 3 kids, right? They all need cars. They all need college degrees. Like, there's a lot of money, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, I don't think Scott Garibay's ever, he's gonna die ashamed. He ain't never gonna be out of this country. That's for sure, right? Because I just got too many important things to spend my money on rather than international travel for myself, right? But get this, I'm not poor. I am either middle class or upper middle class. It's hard to tell. It's a complicated question. I'm probably upper class. And nowadays, I don't even think I would make, upper middle class. But me and mine, we don't really want for much, right? We really have everything. We certainly have everything we need and more, and we have enough money for quite a few luxuries, right? But not international travel. By the way, my kids are international travelers, so that's there. That can tell you something too, right? I have sent multiple kids out of the country, right? So there you go. That shows my priorities. All right. So basically, but there are people who have a lot less than me, right? And I want to talk about those people today. All right. Here's the thing, right? I push back so hard on the idea that Dungeons and Dragons is for fun. At the point of Dungeons and Dragons is fun. I wholeheartedly reject that, and the reason why is, what's in that statement, right? People want to pretend it's like, oh, I just want D&D to be fun. I get upset, Scott, when you tell me that the point of D&D is not fun, right? Well, I get upset when you say it's fun. You want to know why? You know what you're really doing? You're releasing yourself and you're releasing others from your responsibilities as Dungeons Masters, okay? If you are a skilled, first of all, I'm talking about American skilled Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Masters. This doesn't apply to anybody else on the planet. If you play some shuffler game other than the top game in the world, you ain't going to be able to do this. If you're not a skilled Dungeon Master, you certainly ain't going to be able to do this. If you don't know D&D 5e, front, backward, sideways, and upside down and forward, this ain't for you, right? But if you are a skilled Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master, you have a duty and you have a responsibility. I'm going to explain it to you right now. You can allow people who do not have the high class or the high wealth in America to travel, right? So if you are a highly skilled Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Dungeon Master, you could sit down with any person who, just like me, cannot be an international traveler, who will never be an international traveler, okay? And if they can read, you can say, oh, hey, listen, sit down with me. I heard that you wanted to travel to France and that you never had a chance to travel to France and that you fear you may never travel to France. Today I'm going to take you to France. Let's go. All right, so I'm a Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master. Have a seat. We're going to build your character in 15 minutes and using the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rules. And the first place you're going to land is, I'm going to describe to you the French airport. You're going to come out of the airport and you're going to go to a French bakery. You're going to meet a passenger as you land. I'm going to bring to life, the person who gives you the bakery item. As you stroll down the street, you'll meet a delightful old Frenchman, right? I'm going to bring it to life for you. Let's go, right? And get this, you're like, hey, Scott, you going to give him some shriveled version of France? No. These are people who may never, ever have the ability to travel, right? Like me, right? Internationally. I have traveled to the United States of America. But they'll never be able to internationally travel, right? And by the way, it's going to be harder than ever now. People do I'm talking about, international travel in America. We're talking about people if they can feed their babies. Like, we in a different place, if you ain't noticed, right? Like, so, right? Not only are you not going to give them a shriveled version of France, you very well may give them a better version than they ever would get, right? The reality is, if they could scrape up the money, right, to go there and get the worst hotel possible on the worst flight, right? Their inability to speak the language, their lack of funds for anything but getting there, would mean the trip probably be pretty terrible, right? Especially in the middle of a March 2020 problem, right? But your ability to transform their mind and bring France to them is powerful. And it's not just France. It's any person who has a dream to internationally travel, and it's any country. And you could give it to anybody you want, right? And you can shatter their lack of class, their lack of money, and you could beat every obstacle, and you could truly bring this to life for them. And you could do it for weeks, months, or years, right? But you tell yourself it's fun, so that you don't have to be bothered to ever do anything real with Dungeons and Dragons. And I call you out as a coward. If you say that Dungeons and Dragons is for fun, you are doing it to neglect your duty. That's my opinion. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.